then as thought is limited, our consciousness, which has been put together by thought, is limited.
Yes. Now, why does that mean can you make it clear that that means we can only stay in the same circle?
Same circle.
See, one of the ideas might be, if you compare with science, that people might think, though my knowledge is limited, I'm constantly discovering.
But what you discover
Yeah.
is added to, but it's still is limited.
It's still limited. That's the point, that I can keep on. See, I think one of the ideas behind a scientific approach is that though knowledge is limited, I can discover and keep up with the actuality.
But that's also limited.
My discoveries are limited, and there's always the unknown which I have not
That's
discovered.
why I'm saying the unknown, the limitless cannot be captured by thought.
Yes.
Because thought in itself is limited. And I agree to that. Not only agree, but it's a fact.
Yes, well, that perhaps we should bring it out still more. That is, thought is limited. Even though one may easily verbally admit thought is not limited, there's a very strong predisposition,
feeling, yes.
A tendency to feel that way, that thought can do anything.
Anything.
Right?
It can't. See what it has done in the world.
Well, I agree that it has done some terrible things, but that doesn't prove that it's always wrong. You see that maybe you could always blame it on the people who have used it wrong. You see.
I know that's a kind of good old trick. But thought in itself is limited. Therefore, whatever it does is limited.
Yes, now, and it's limited in a very serious way, is what you're saying.
That's right. Oh, of course, in a very, very serious way.
Now, could we bring that, say what that way is?
That way is what's happening in the world.
All right, let's look at that.
The totalitarian ideals is the invention of thought.
Yes, well, we could say that the very word totalitarian means they wanted to cover the totality, but they couldn't.
They couldn't.
They couldn't, the thing collapsed, right?
It's collapsing.
It's collapsing. Now, but then there are those who say they are not totalitarians.
But the Democrats and all the rest of it, the Republicans and the Democrats and the idealists and so on, all their thinking is limited.
Yes, but it's limited in a way
that's very destructive.
It's very serious and destructive. Now, in what way could we bring that out? You see that I could say, okay, my thought is limited, but, well, it may not be all that serious. You see, why is it so important?
That's very simple, because whatever action is born of limited thought must breed conflict. Inevitable.
Yes.
Like dividing humanity into geographically, into nationalities and so on, so on, so on, religiously, has created havoc in the world.
Yes, now let's connect that with the limitation of thought. That is, my knowledge is limited, right?
We said that.
And how does that lead me to divide the world into?
Aren't we seeking security?
Yes.
And we thought there was security in the family, security in the tribe, security in nationalism. So we thought there is security in division.
Yes, it seems now it's come out that take the tribe, for example. See, one may feel insecure now because it says with the tribe I am secure. That is a conclusion. And I think I know enough to be sure that's so, but I don't. Other things happen that I don't know, which make that very insecure. Other tribes come along.
No. The very division creates insecurity.
It helps to create it, yes. But I'm trying to say I don't know enough to know that, right?
No.
I don't see that.
So you don't, but one doesn't see it because one has not thought about anything, looked at the world as a whole.
Yes, well, the thought which the thought which aims at security attempts to know everything important.
Yes.
And it assumes that it knows everything important, and it says this will bring security. Now, not only are there a lot of things it doesn't know, but one thing it doesn't know is that this very thought itself is divisive, right?
Divisive. Yeah.
Divisive. It's going to, because I define an area which is secure and divide it from another area.
Because in itself it's limited.
Yes.